with Sage Accounting, we are talking about our online version, our Sage Business Cloud Accounting, otherwise just called Sage Accounting, where you log in via the website. So we are not talking about Partner and Express today. Unfortunately, I will just need to go backwards and forwards between the screens until everyone has in fact been added. Okay, so here you can see I've gone into the demo company, which is Import Cyclers. And if we're talking about analysis codes, you set up your analysis codes via the company and in analysis codes. Now, your analysis codes are codes that you can use in order to analyze your purchases and your sales. So it's very much like if you do come from a partner or an express background, what used to be called your cost codes or your project tracker. This is a way for you to track your income and your expenses to make sure that a project or a specific sale is in fact profitable. So this is often used by building companies or companies where you have various projects. So maybe you're a catering firm and you need to see that the wedding or the wedding is profitable, that you haven't, and your sales aren't undercut because you thought that it would cost less, for example. So that's what your analysis codes are. It's in order for you to analyze the sales and the expenses that come with those sales to make sure that it is in fact profitable. And then you would set it up so you only have 3 analysis codes. So you can see here, for example, I've created one called projects, and then I've put, for example, cities. Or you can put, for example, a venue maybe, and you want to see if a specific venue is profitable. So you've got 3 codes that you can analyze by. Those are the only 3 that you can use. You can then have unlimited categories when we are referring to our analysis codes. So you can have unlimited categories, but you can only have 3 main codes themselves. So you do need to make sure that you are thinking very hard on exactly what you want to analyze and what you would call the overall. So it's very similar to, main accounts, sub accounts. So basically it's your grouping. So how exactly would you want to group your projects or your analysis codes? So you need to see what are the 3 main things I want to group by, and then where would I create those categories so that I can then check, for example, how's Cape Town doing? How's Durban doing? So in this case, I might want to go, for example, province, city, suburb. That is something that I could do so that I can drill down further to analyze those costs and to see how profitable a specific region is. As I said, if you're a caterer, maybe you actually want to do, for example, a specific, like you might want to do a city and then a specific venue that maybe you always host at. And then you can do it that way. Once you've set up your analysis codes, this is where you would go and you would look at your, sorry guys, let me just quickly admit. So once you've set up your analysis codes, this is where you will then start to process. So for example, if we on our customer tax invoices, for example, and we create a tax invoice, this is where we can see that it will come in. Now, it's going to give you what you have grouped it as. So, for example, I had one called projects and one called test. If I then go there, that's where those unlimited categories are going to come in. So what category is this linked to in terms of the overall? So as I said, if you're a catering company, maybe you have venue, or maybe you have, for example, city, then venue. You will select the one that you want accordingly, and then you process per line. So this is per line, and you can then go through and add your different options. You would then save that, and in terms of the sale, it will put it as the sale. The same works when we are referring to our supplier documents. So if we are processing a supplier invoice, we will see the same options available. So those options will be available, and we can then process accordingly. And then it works out, and it will go, okay, this is a cost, that is a debit, this is a credit, that type of thing. And then overall, it will give you a value for that specific account based on your analysis. Does that make sense so far? Are we all with me? Are you guys okay? If anyone isn't, you can just put in the chat. I'm going to go quickly check the chat. And guys, you may see each other's names. That is the difference between this and GoToWebinar. Okay. So guys, hopefully you're all still with me. And that would be fantastic. So that is where we are at this point. Then if we look based on the analysis codes at our different reports, if we look at our financial statements and we look at our profit and loss, you can see that you can either group by month, quarter, year, or you can group by your analysis codes, and then you can choose one. So you can either choose, and that's why I say I normally do it in layers. So for example, I would have gone, maybe country, province, or country, whatever, city, you can do it that way, or you can go province, city, suburb. You can then go either at the top tier, okay, I just want to see this for every country, or I want to see this for every province or county. Sorry, I know that we've got people from other countries other than South Africa here, so I'm trying to think what you would use instead of province. So I think they're counties or their states. You can do that, and then you can go down, for example, into the city or the suburb. So you would group by that, and then it will filter by those analysis codes. So that would be on your profit and loss. And guys, we are going to do some processing and then come back. I'm just doing a quick overview so that we see where we can add those different things to. So basically, if you go through your different reports, then you will be able to see on your reports what you can filter by and what you can't. So for example, if we're looking at our customer transactions, you can see that that does not allow you to filter by your analysis codes. This is mostly on your financial reports where it allows you to select the analysis codes. Even on your TB, it's only on your profit and loss. Your TB, while you can have your report group detail, which is where you do your account reporting groups, you'll see that there's no analysis codes here. So it's normally to work out if something is profitable. So it takes your income and your expense. But you can go through certain of the reports and you will see that those analysis codes are then there. So I'm just showing you where the different options are. And again, you'll see on your balance sheet, no, because this is specifically to see the profitability. So it's income versus expense. That is what analysis codes are there for. So it's not on TB, it's not on balance sheets, it's on your income statement to view the profitability. So then if we do some processing, I'm just going to very quickly choose some things. I'm going to do one customer, one supplier. 5 there. Sorry guys, I just want to add the latecomers quickly. And then I'm just going to work in my project right now, and I'm going to use the Cape Town one. So if we do that, save a new. And then likewise, I'm going to go to our suppliers, and I'm just going to process a supplier invoice. Just to show you what the reports look like in Sage Accounting, and then I'm going to go onto our Tech Partners program. So then if we go to our financial reports and we go to our profit and loss, and I select analysis codes, it should have analyzed via the analysis. Oh, sorry guys, I didn't choose an analysis category. That doesn't help. And then we go projects, go refresh. Then we can see there's the uncategorized, and then we've got Cape Town. So it's putting it based on my project, and I can see this is my total sales. These were my purchases. This is my gross profit for this month for this project. And this is my net profit on loss after tax. So I didn't put any tax in, but we can see that it's telling me, okay, I'm running at a profit, which is what I want to see. And that's the whole purpose of the analysis codes. So guys, that's a very brief overview of the analysis codes, how to use them, hopefully how to set them up. If you could raise your hand, I want to just find out if anyone has any questions, anyone needs me to rather go through anything specific you want me to show you. Please click the raise hand. I will then go and check who's raised their hand, and I can answer those questions. Does anyone have any questions on the analysis codes, how they work, and anything that you need to ask me? Or are we pretty clear on the analysis codes, how to use them, and where they go? I'm going to give us until 18 past. If you could just click the raise hand icon, it's this little one here. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the data insights. I'm going to go over more than the analysis codes part of their reporting, but I will start with how they have added to our very basic reporting on analysis codes. Okay, Letitia, I see that you've raised your hand. You can unmute yourself and please ask me your question.
Apologies, I don't want to waste anybody's time, but I missed the first part of the session. I know the functionality of the project and why we need to do it like that, why we want to do it like that. But if you can just, for a minute, just show me where you actually set up the codes to be able to get the categories per project, if you don't mind.
Sure, no problem at all. So where you actually go to set it up is you go into company and you go into analysis codes, and then you only have 3 main. So it's basically your headings, But on the headings, you have unlimited categories per heading. So it's very important to think about how you want these to drill down. So as I said, if you're catering, maybe what you want to do is for South Africa, like I would maybe use province and then use suburb and then use venue, so that you have your 3 drill downs, so you can see an overview, how's my different provinces doing, and I would put all my provinces in my category. Then I would put, sorry, mine are a bit everywhere because I was testing certain things. But then I would put, for example, the suburbs. So then I can go, okay, so Gauteng's doing well, but which suburb is my best suburb? And then, for example, you could check the venue, because obviously you want to see the profitability. So maybe you need to look at changing venues because this venue is actually a little bit more expensive, or it's gone up a lot from another venue, and you either need to adjust your pricing or maybe you need to look for a different venue. So you have 3 headings and then you can have unlimited categories on those headings. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay, perfect. For those of you that have just entered, this is recorded. We have kind of gone through the explanation of analysis codes. So I do apologize for that, but you can always check the recording if need be. And then, guys, is everyone happy? Because I only see that Letitia had her hand up. Is everyone happy that we move over to the data insights? What you can use is you can use a React and just give me a thumbs up. Oh, hang on. I see that Kennedy has a question. Kennedy, please unmute yourself and then ask your question.
Hi, Joanne. Good morning from Ghana. Trust you're doing
Morning.
very well. Yes. Okay, so this is just a quick one. With the processing in Sage Business Cloud Accounting,
Yes.
especially at the customer receipt column,
Yes.
when you go to customer transaction receipt,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have this client who is who wish that during this process there should be a tab here where he will be able to select the project also. Is that
Okay.
possible?
I can
Is that
definitely
possible that the
ask them.
field will be added here?
I can ask them here if he's already putting it on the tax invoice, though. It is already taking the sale into account, but I can definitely ask it as an enhancement. That's the right word. So I can
Okay.
ask as an enhancement. I know that enhancements that have been asked for is that on the codes, I do have people that have a number of analysis codes. And one of the problems here is if there is history, you can't actually delete them and there's nowhere to block them. And that when you then are going through the reporting, there are so many. So I have added a suggestion to please allow the blocking of codes so that they aren't included in reports. So you guys might know that if you have a customer blocked or inactive, for example, sorry, I still use old terminology. I do apologize. I've only been a specialist here for a year, so I'm still getting used to the terms. But you can make customers, suppliers, and items inactive, and you can choose to not show the inactive items within when you're searching. And so that is a suggestion. Hang on, someone's got their mic on and it's causing a lot of interference. Okay, there we go. So I know that that's a suggestion that I've made to please allow things to be inactive, because sometimes a project does come to an end, but then you can't remove it and you don't want to see all of these projects. So that is a suggestion, and I will follow up with my dev team tomorrow on that. So I have meetings every Wednesdays with our dev team to ask them about various bugs or about suggestions and enhancements. So guys, if you have any enhancements, especially around the analysis codes, please feel free to let us know so that we can in fact chat to dev and go, look, this is a huge thing. Many people would like these enhancements and many people would like to see these, and then we can make sure that those enhancements are in fact being added so that we can improve the system. So does that answer your question? Is there anything else? So at this point you can't, and I would need to just double check if it is because it's already been added on the invoice, because we don't want to double up on the income and expenditure. So maybe we need to have an option where you can choose to either do it at the invoice or the receipting side, but I'm perfectly happy to add that as a suggestion for you. I have muted everyone, so you may need, oh, there we go. Okay, you are still unmuted. Perfect. Does that help?
Yes, that's fine. That's okay.
Perfect. Guys, does
Thank you.
anyone else have any questions for those of you that started late? Unfortunately, we've gone through the explanation of analysis codes within the system itself and some processing and some reporting. We are about to move over to the data insights, which is basically an add-on module for those of you who are from Partner and Express, but this is an add-on to Sage Accounting. You would need to purchase this. It is from a third-party tech partner, and this has a lot of additional reporting that can help you. So this is recorded. You can go and view the explanation, but is everyone happy for me to move on? I don't see any further hands up. So guys, if you look where I click on React, if you could just do a thumbs up if you're happy for me to move on, that would be fantastic. If anyone does have any questions, just raise your hand so that I can make sure that we've covered the explanation part. Okay, I see that Sheila has a question. Sheila, if you can please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Sorry, before me there was a Jacob. I'm not sure if Jacob has a question. I did see Jacob's hand was raised. Then I'll wait for Jacob to ask his question first.
Sure, thank you for that. I didn't see that, Jacob.
Hello, can you hear me? This is Jacob.
Hi, Jacob. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, mine was just analysis code is an excellent feature. The only thing you realize, it adds additional processing fields, and
Yes.
especially when you're processing customer invoices and they're not recurring, they keep on changing every month. I was just asking whether you're considering a feature of importing invoices, because just like for the journals, because the additional processing manually is a bit tedious, but the field is excellent.
Jacob, I know that we've asked that. I will add it to my list to follow up with them, because yeah, I understand, also coming from a specialist on accounting where you can import your documents. It was, for me, I was like, oh, you can't do that. So I understand the importance of that, and I'll definitely follow up on that for you. I know that there is also a suggestion to force the analysis codes, because there is no force option in Sage Accounting. And because you have to scroll, a lot of people sometimes miss that. And that can also be difficult then, because then you've missed adding your analysis code and it's having to go back and find it. So we have also added that as a suggestion to force the analysis codes, if you so choose.
Yeah, that would be excellent. Otherwise, you end up with a lot of uncategorized. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the question. Okay, Sheila, you can ask your question because you were next.
Thanks, Joanne. In your analysis code, so I understand up to Cape Town, but then if I want to see the venue, is that the analysis code number 3? Or do I create another category under Cape Town for the venue?
No. So yeah, so if you want to actually drill down, you would need to use these 3 here, because here it'll only give you one option of the category. So in my case, actually, let me go to, I think that my one company is completely blank. So I think this company of mine is completely blank. Just to show you my idea, because obviously everyone has different ways. So here, for example, let's say I want this to be, and please excuse my spelling because I'm trying to talk and I'm just going to put talk and spell at the same time, and I get very confused. So here I can do province, then maybe city, for example, and then here I would do venue,
Okay, cool.
for
Cool.
example,
Thank you.
so that you can actually drill down to the different ones, because once you put in the category, you can only select one category per heading. And so that's where you might want to see the overview of province, then go which city is the best, and then go to your venue. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Thank you, Joanne.
Welcome. Okay, and then I saw that there was someone else who had their hand up. Karen, you had your hand up. Or is it Karen? Karen, sorry.
Hi, it's Karen speaking.
Hi, Karen.
Listen, I just want a little bit more, if you don't mind, on
Okay.
the reporting of these analysis codes, because you showed us in the financial
Yeah.
reports, financial statements, specifically the trial balance. Is there any other reporting that you can do on this, maybe specific to a category?
So there are different ones, but as I was going through, I'm like, which ones were they? Because I myself don't remember off by heart. So if you guys are happy for me to just go through and click the different reports, because I know there are different reports, but there are so many reports that I went through it yesterday and I tried to make a note, and I'm getting old, guys. So if you don't mind going through, there are other places to go. I know the income statement is the main one, but then it either is there or it's not there. So for example, on your list of customers, it's not going to be there. I just want to check sales by customer, because I would have thought that would have been here, because that would have been a nice one to have. So I've also got a list of ones where I've looked and I've gone, why can't we categorize here? Because sales by customer, in my opinion, would be a great one to have to analyze your sales, to go, hey, what do my sales for this analysis code look like? So I would have had it here, and I would have had it on purchases as well. So I know the reporting is very limited within Sage Accounting, which is why I actually doubled this up with our data insights, because that does allow you to analyze a lot better than what we had. So I don't think it's on transactions either, because I know a lot of them I was like, why isn't it on that? And so at this point, I'm more like, I'm confused between the ones that it wasn't on and the ones that it was. Won't be on quotes. Because all of these are just to kind of search by. And so I know it's on the income statement, because that is the main purpose of the actual analysis codes, is to see your purchases versus your income, to check that it's profitable. So that is its whole purpose.
Absolutely. I see that the
Yeah.
filters on the income statement is sufficient. So that you can maybe just drill down to only
Basically.
one category and
So
then
that's why
see
I'm
the
like, I
income.
know there were a few more, but for the life of me, it's gone out of my head, possibly because there's so many of you. Little bit of stage fright, but I know
understand.
that's the main one. So guys, I'm so sorry, because I made a
Johnny,
list of all the others. So this is the main report, obviously, that they wanted it on, was your profit and loss report. And then obviously viewing the profit and loss. Now, because I haven't processed analysis codes, it's grayed out. That's why it's in the other one, because you need to set it up, and only once you've processed does it actually show your analysis codes. But then, yes, you can drill down. So I think that was the thought behind it. So having come from partner, especially where it is, the reporting is so extensive, myself on reports was like, I would have had it on the customer sales. And so I've made a list that I want to go through with them tomorrow to go, guys, I think all of these should have that addition. So we might increase the reporting side, because I would like that personally for me. And I think that would add value for all of you. But then the analysis codes here, as you say, once you go in, then you can in fact drill down onto your different options to actually see, okay, what happened, where did it happen, and then we can see my specific invoice and where that happened. So I can see that it happened, and this was the invoice number, and there the amounts were. So it is that whole drill down. So I think that it takes you then to that, for example, sales by item or sales by customer, to actually see what's happening. So I'm thinking that's probably where their thinking was. I personally, for me, and I don't know if you guys agree, would like to, for example, see it on my sales by customer. I would like an analysis code here to actually go into my sales itself and actually have them so in the different options. That's just something I would have liked to see. I don't know if that helps. So it is the drill down option to be able to click through.
Thank you.
Does that help at all or not really?
Sorry, I unmuted myself again. I just wanted to make a note for Jacob on auto entry.
Okay.
He mentioned the importing of invoices, and it's something that a lot of clients ask for, and it would be great to have it written into this program. But it's just a reminder to Jacob he might have a look at auto entry, which could help a lot.
Yeah, that's also an add-in, is
Yes,
that yeah, it is
it's
also
a
an
third
add-in.
party.
Yeah. I'm like, auto entry is also, so definitely. I didn't think of the auto entry actually, but I do agree with you guys that being able to import does add a lot more functionality, and I know it is something we've suggested, and I'll definitely follow up for you guys. Okay, guys, I'm not seeing any other hands. Is everyone happy for now? Are you happy if I move on to our third-party reporting app, which can possibly help you with a number of reporting options? Are we happy with the functionality of analysis codes with some of the reporting, as well as how roughly to set that up? I know it's limited at this point, as well as some of the suggestions that I've advised. For example, being able to make things inactive and remove that from lists. Are we all good? Okay, I think we're all good. So then, guys, as I said, we have something called Data Insights. Now, Data Insights is from one of our tech partners who looked into our reporting. They weren't happy with it, so they started with it. And this is from a demo perspective. Okay, come on. Don't fail me now, system. There we go. Sorry. And basically, if we look here now, please understand, I have certain access to betas that if you had to purchase this at this point, you might not see, but you can see that there's a lot of options here. So you can do your analysis by sales, item codes, analysis codes, your advanced pivot analysis, which I will take you through, customers, sales reps, incomplete sales orders, item demands, and then we're looking at analyzing with AI. So what this partner is doing is if you go in here and you, for example, type in, how do I increase my sales? It will run through all of your sales. It'll run it through, for example, ChatGPT, and then it'll give you suggestions on things that you can do based on a whole lot of training in the internet with around increasing sales, which can possibly help you. And then our management reporting, as many of you know, they've removed management packs from Sage Intelligence. This specific tech partner is building in management reports. So if we look at the analysis codes, oh, sorry, guys. Here's where you will select your companies. So you can see that you can select multiple companies. I'm just going to select the top one. And guys, if you want to, you can analyze along multiple companies, depending what you have access to. This only has access to 25, and then we're going to go analysis codes. And then if we go into the analysis codes, Sorry, I wasn't. So if you zoom in and there's a lot of stuff, what might happen is it might overlap like that. You can just zoom out a bit. But then here we can see our analysis codes and our analysis category. And then on our analysis category, this is where we've got our different options, and then you can select the different options of what you want to see. So for example, maybe you only want to see the one, and then we can select the month and year. So for example, I might want to view August to September. I can apply my filters. And here we can see that I've only selected the one. This is also where I can select multiples. So on ours, what you may have noticed in Sage Accounting is that you can only view one heading at a time. Whereas here, this drills down to specific analysis categories. So you can choose multiple analysis categories as opposed to just one analysis category and having to view that the entire time. In this specific option, so I'm just going to go select all and apply filters. You can also see your summary view. You can go into a detailed view, which will tell you exactly which supplier invoice or customer invoice. And we can show subtotals. So for that specific analysis code, we're going into a detailed view, but then we're also saying, okay, what is the subtotal of this specific analysis? So you can choose what you are seeing and drill down into that. Now, this is for analysis category 1. You can also then pull other things through onto the side, to my knowledge, unless, sorry, that might be in the pivot. So from here, you can also then download to Excel. So you can either look here, view your different things, and you can print the report by going to your print option, or you can drill down into your Excel. And from your Excel, you can then make your different tables and things, put in your different reports. If you want to add different filters, you can put that through into Excel. We go back to our dashboard. Sorry, guys, I just want to go into one of the other demos because the different demos show different things, and I just want to double check. So basically as well, if you've processed, what happens is in Data Insights, it updates every 24 hours overnight. If you've processed, and for example, let's say you've done a whole lot of processing this morning, you can click on the update source data. What it'll do is it'll go and fetch everything that you've processed in Sage Accounting, and it will make sure that it can access it in real time. So although that runs, okay, yeah, I was in the right. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I was in the right demo. So it was Alrain. I am correct. Good. So basically, if you then go and fetch the data, what it does is it fetches all the data. Sorry, you do need to select which companies. The ones that are grayed out are because they aren't linked here. But if we fetch the source data, as you can see, basically what it's doing is it's running through everything and it's making sure that everything has been synchronized. So it does it overnight. But you might be running this report at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You might want the transactions that you've processed during that day, not the transactions from yesterday. So in that regard, you would choose to update this data. So it automatically does it in the evenings. But if you want to fetch the data immediately and have that available, you would then select to have that available now by updating the data. I see that, Jessica, you have a question. You can unmute yourself. Your hand is raised.
Hi, Joanne. So
Hi.
on the analysis codes,
Yeah.
I was wondering, I could obviously see that you were doing it by project and by GL code. Could you filter it by customer and analysis code?
You probably could. That might be something that you have to do in the advanced pivot table. So in the different reports, there's certain functionality that you have, and then that where they're pre-written, like this report. But
Okay.
then one of the nice things with data insights is that you can also get bespoke reports written for you.
Oh,
So for
awesome.
example, if this doesn't work for you, what you can do is you can reach out to the data insights company. I do have contacts, and they can then create reports for you, which will come into the advanced pivot, which is really, really nice. So here you can see that you can search, for example, you can select certain things. This says that it's a custom report, but so this is a general report. So everyone has access to these standard reports from them. But you could literally say to him, listen here, I love the analysis, but actually I need to be able to categorize by this specific thing. Can I do that? And they would create a report here, and this report would then appear on your side. You would then select, so here I want to see customer transactions, for example. If I go generate, what this does is this will then basically, okay, there should have been information. I'm going to go to the main persons, unless this is just taking a while to load, which is also possible. Sorry, I know the main person is actually the top one, which is Trevor. And I actually prefer working in Trevor. Oh, sorry, Trav. So to show, this is the one that I wanted to show you guys. I always forget to select a company. And guys, as you can see, I can consolidate the companies, which is a big thing. And I can actually choose to view the data for all of those companies. So it's not going to now show me just for one company. It's actually going to pull through all the customer transactions for all three of those companies. So for example, if you have different entities that you're running for, so you're a Pick and Pay, for example, you could use this to consolidate, to actually see what are my sales overall, that type of thing, which is also quite nice. I probably shouldn't have done that because now it's picking up a whole bunch of stuff. Apologies. Not that I'd muted this. So here what we're dealing with is, if we know Excel, we've got our columns and we've got our rows. And here we've got all the different options of what you can build a report for. So here you can see you've got your different analysis descriptions as well. So if the one analysis report which we've given you doesn't work, this is where you can go, okay, what I want to do is I want to have all my analysis codes over here, for example. So these are my actual codes themselves. And then based on this, this is where you'll drill down and you'll choose which one you want to see. So you can deselect all, or you can select all. And you can actually go and tell it specifically what you want to see. And that will then apply it accordingly. And you can choose. So maybe you actually want to see it on the actual column. So you pull this where you want to see. So you might want to see it at the top here, but then you want to see it, for example, by the name and the document number, or you might want the date in, or you might want the item. So you can literally build your report depending on what you want to see on the pivot itself. So this is where you can literally customize your own report. You can then also choose what you want to see. Do you want to count? Do you want a minimum, maximum? Do you want a sum? So this is basically Excel, but within this program where you can choose what you want to see for your different options, and you can literally pull it through. As I said, these are your columns, this is your rows, and you will then pull it through depending. So here, as you can see, I've got the name of the customer, I've got the date, I've got the invoice number, I can have the description, and I've got my quantity. So this part of this program is incredibly useful, and it's very, very powerful because you can customize what you are looking for, if that answers, Jess. So you can literally choose. And as you saw, I've got my analysis here. So I can choose, do I want to sort it by my analysis with my different criteria? Again, you can then put it into Excel. So I can download this and put it into Excel. I can view my table analysis. So if I go to the table, it should then take me, for example, to show where that raw data is coming from. And I can then look and see, okay, this is where it's coming from. This is my raw data. So this is the raw data, for example. So all the document numbers and credit notes, my date, my name. So that's where that's coming in. If I go to the analysis options, again, this is just taking me back. So you can see I'm just pulling one date. So you've got all sorts of options here. You can pull a specific day. You can pull a month. You can pull a quarter. You can pull, month per date, for example, if that's what you want to do. So I just want to, let's do, I mean, you can pull an entire year. And this is where this is where I feel their power comes in, the specific tech partner, which is why I wanted to show a lot of people this, is that you've got all these different options. Now, yes, you might have to do your customer transactions, then your supplier, it's got your different options, or you can tell them, I need all of these in one place. That's where they would say, okay, you want, for example, sales, or you want purchases only, or whatever it is, and they can do that for you, and they're very quick at writing reports. But let's go, I'm using customer transactions just because I know there are a whole bunch in this company. And then again, here we've got our different options. So we've got year and month. So this is literally telling us, okay, I've got March, April, May, June. So now it's doing my month and it's running that along. Now I can, of course, remove that so that it's just giving me my totals, and I can change that accordingly. So you'll see that we've just put two things here, but you can literally take those out and move them around. Again, guys, because we're talking about analysis codes, this is if you guys want your analysis codes to display in a specific way, you can choose those. So you might, for example, actually want to analyze this by the analysis codes on the top, and maybe you actually want your figures down. You don't want to see per customer, but you might want to actually view, okay, what are my analysis codes per month? There we go. This is showing the different analysis codes, and it's showing you per month what that is for your customer transactions. We can then download that to Excel, and then we can run maybe our supplier documents, and we can actually then start to manipulate the data. As I said, if you want those included, you just tell them, guys, actually, I need I need these two different things actually put together, and then I want my different filters. So these are your filters, and you just drag them into rows or columns. I hope that makes sense. So this is quite powerful. And then from here, you can also then, if I'm not mistaken, you can choose the different options. So this is net line value exclusive. So this is also what I'm analyzing by. You could change this per numbers. So you can change a lot of the different options to what you're looking for. Guys, those of you that use comments, line comments, sometimes you might not be able to search by those line comments, line message, and you can add those line comments and you can actually pull it in to see, okay, what are the line comments? What am I looking for? Where is that going? Discount amount. So you can choose what it's actually filtering by. It doesn't need to filter by what we've put it as. So we've put net line value exclusive, or not we, but the tech partner. Sorry, I work with them. I'm one of their betas now because I asked them to be, and I think this is a really awesome thing. And then from here, you can choose your different options of what you want to see. And as I said, you can do all your different sums, your list unique values, that type of thing. So it's all your different things in Excel. So that is your pivot tables, which I think is pretty cool. If we look at journals, for example, this is also, you can bring your quotes here. So again, we can see our different journals, the type. So what was it? It was a journal debit or a journal credit. And we can pull the different options as we wish to see it. If I go back to my pivot tables, then here, customers, supplier, and journals collated. So this is where the three are. So that's already collated. So it's going, okay, you want to put all of this together. And then again, we can put all of that together and we can pull in our different analysis options. So at this point, as you can see, I actually prefer pulling them in my columns, because we're actually trying to analyze by that. So I find that it's easier to do that. And there we can see what it's doing is it's going, okay, for this specific month, there are my different options. And this is what that was. This was a journal. And that's where that value came from. These were tax invoices. And you can then always take that further. And then, as I said, you can then download and analyze data using an Excel pivot table. And that should then create this in Excel. Would be nice. Yeah, sorry, it is thinking. So what it'll do is it'll download that as a workbook. And you can then open that workbook and you could always manipulate the data further in Excel itself. So the source data is here and your pivot table is here. And then you could always analyze that further. So here we can see our data, and there the source data is that it's pulling from with the different categories. And you can then create what you need to in Excel if you so choose. And guys, if we go back to our dashboard, I do just want to show you management reporting, because this is also a big one. So as we know, SI took out, or Sage Intelligence took out the management reporting. You can also view your different management reporting, financial reports, profit and loss, income versus expenditure. And I have advised, so they are building on this, but there are things that I've advised, like, for example, budgets. We need to have budgets here, having the analysis codes here as well. So that is all something that they are building in. And as a beta, I then go back to the tech partner and I advise them to actually include some of that stuff. You can then select your option and you can tell it to generate the report. And you can tick multiple options or just one. And what it'll do is it'll generate the report accordingly. Now, again, I'm selecting multiple options. So here it's telling you this is for this company, the top company. And then it will eventually populate. So here we can see that's where it's pulling that information from. And then if we go to the reporting cover, come on, generate, unless they're still building. So guys, that is in beta, that specific one. Sorry, just the other option. So the management pack is still in beta. And the AI is still in beta. These are in beta and should be coming soon. But all of these different options exist at the moment. So you have the option of all of these different reports, especially your advanced pivot table. And you can go into those different options and actually view the different things. So here, if we look at sales, yeah, so I'm assuming that they're still building on this, and that then will come through. So the reporting cover, they obviously, I'll chat to them, but this is what it would look like. And then you will have your balance sheet. And then again, because it is in Excel, you can then edit that accordingly. And then here with your sales, as you can see, your sales are giving you all your different graphs. You've got this year or the previous year, and you can download the chart as an image, or you can choose to view it as a table. You can choose how many months. So it's all different options of how you can view this, how you want to view this, how the report looks. Select the top 20, whether you want to show previous years, include the current month, and it will give you the different option. The other nice thing with this is you can drill down to a specific month just by clicking on it. So there's a drill down feature, and that feature will then bring up the specific month so that you can have a look. If we click on it again, it will tell you exactly where that came from, your different customers, your customer categories, and you can view the different sales reps as well. We want to just rather view in our specific tables. You click the table option. If you don't want to view the previous year, you just want to view this year, you can click those options. You can view the bottom, you can view the top, you can view the number, you can view a specific customer. So here you've got your company. So this is all my companies. So I had 3 companies selected. I can rather view the one company. So again, that consolidation of all of my companies. Now I just want to view this company. So the charts are clickable. Again, you can download to Excel. You can just save it as an image. And we can view our different options. So guys, does anyone have any questions with regards to the data insights? Is there a specific report you want me to take you through? Obviously, my 2 main ones here, which show you the analysis code report that you can look at, as well as this advanced pivot table to show you that, hey, if these don't quite have what you want, this is a space that you want to play in. If you try the different things and there's something that you don't necessarily see that you want, this is also where you can reach out to the tech partner and say, hey, if I look at the pivot table, actually I need option 1, 2, 3 if it's not here, or alternatively, if it doesn't have what you're looking for. So guys, for example, on this pivot table, if the heading doesn't exist, you can say, hi, I actually need to include this specific heading, and they'll make sure that heading is included for you. So guys, I'm going to go back to my screen. If you can raise your hands, does anyone have any questions on the data insights itself? I know I gave you a brief overview on the management pack. The tech partners still working on it with input from a few of us from Sage. I am one of them to go, okay, that's great, but maybe you can include this, looking into also the suggestions you guys have made with regards to Sage Intelligence, where you were like, actually, I would like this on the management pack. This is the time to say to us, hey, guys, can you make sure that the tech partner is aware of this? Because this is where we are now applying that. Sorry, I didn't mean to raise my hand. I don't have a question. Does anyone have a question on the data insights? Guys, I personally don't, I won't show you stuff that I don't think is worthwhile. I do think that this is something that's worthwhile because of how versatile it is, because it can really help you. We have our standard reports in Sage Accounting. It does cover your basics, but if you need something very specific, this is a way that you can very easily build those reports. And so that's why I wanted to show you, because I have a lot of faith in this program and in this tech partner. I am not there's no benefit to me to tell you this other than I've had a lot of you ask for certain things with reporting. And so I wanted to show you your options. The cost of this, for those of you that are interested, is it is $299 per month per user. To my knowledge, I think that is up to 3 or 5 companies. I actually just want to make 100% sure on that. So I'm just going to go, sorry guys, I just want to go into the actual, I'm just going to open a new one. So this is called Data Insights Online. And if you go to the pricing, you do get, so you can register and have 30 days to play with the system. They give you a 30-day trial free. And then it's per user. So yeah, so the first company is $299 per month. And then 2 to 5 companies is $229 per company per month. And then you get a 15% discount for annual payments. However, if you have over 6 companies, they are going to ask you to contact them. And guys, I don't have access to the pricing. Like if this is something you want to talk to the tech partner about, I would advise that you please reach out to the tech partner so that they can in fact give you a quote if this is something that you're interested in. But it is very versatile, and in my opinion, it is worth it. So it is an add-on, but you would need to chat to the tech partner accordingly. So guys, does anyone have any questions on data insights? I will do my best to answer because it's not Sage's product. There might be things that I'm a little unsure about. I play in the system, but I might need to reach out to the tech partner for any additional answers that you may need. But I'm happy to answer what I can. So if you could just raise your hand, I can then hopefully answer those questions, if there are any. Guys, as well, if you have any questions on the analysis codes, please feel free to answer those if anything's come up, because I'm not seeing any raised hands. So is everyone happy? Guys, do you have any suggestions? Okay, awesome. Claude, I see that your hand's raised. You can unmute yourself and please ask.
Hi, Joanne. Just wanted to find out, does it allow you the ability to customize your own reports and store them permanently, just like how Sage Intelligence would? Because if you have a certain requirement, you'd have to reach out to Data Insights to write it for you based on what you mentioned.
So with regards to the creating your own reports, this part, where I took you into the Power Pivot, so that would be kind of you writing your own reports based on the options. It doesn't have the option to save what you've put here. So that is something I've spoken to them about, to almost have a save option, as you say, and maybe, and I can definitely ask them, where possibly on the analysis options, yeah, like here, where you say maybe like here, you can create something and say, this is something that I want to just run without having to constantly, you know, put it into the columns and the rows. Is that what I'm understanding? So you don't have to keep pulling the stuff here to create it. You can almost save those options as an analysis option. Am I understanding correctly?
Yes, that's correct. I mean, also with regards to the other types of reports, like when they do come up with a management pack functionality, you want to maybe take that into a little bit of a different dimension based on your reporting skills and so on. Would they go that route, or everything's gonna every specific type of report you're looking for, it'll have to go through them? I'm just trying to see whether it's going to be customizable.
So to my knowledge, because I've made that very clear, because there was some form of customization on the management pack in Sage Intelligence. We're trying to make sure that's retained. And I can definitely ask them. I know once it's in Excel, you can then in Excel tell it specifically to look a certain way. And I have requested that that is savable, much like in Sage Intelligence. But based on your question, I also do want to ask them, like I've said, let's say that you have saved a report in a specific way and you maybe want to give it a name and maybe save it. I do think that should be an option. So I'm happy to speak to the tech partner. I'll reach out to them after this with the suggestions and go, could we build this in? I do know that if the options are not available on the pivot table so if the heading isn't here, once you go into whatever these options, if it's not here, then you need to reach out to them. So basically, in Sage Intelligence, we used to call them data containers. If the container's not there, then they need to do it. But I feel if the container's here, then I agree with you, maybe a save option here, whereby on the analysis options, and then if you go here, you can literally select that. I think that would be a really nice thing. So I'm going to ask them about that for you. And then with the management reports, maybe something similar. So to say, if you've selected options, so this is just to literally say whether it's a balance sheet, a profit and loss. But once you've done that, can it make sure that it does take you to what you've selected? So if you've selected a 6 to 12 month option, if that's there, I'm hoping that I'm understanding what you need correctly, but I'm happy to ask the tech partner, sure, because right now they're building this, and I am trying to keep it as close to what Sage Intelligence had, plus whatever you guys asked for, to make sure that it does meet your specifications, because you are paying, obviously, the tech partner for this access. So, I mean, if you want to send me examples, if that helps, Claude, I'll give you guys my email. You can absolutely send me examples and go, look, this is what we would like. And is it possible? Because there's no harm in asking. I can definitely find out and I can get back to you. And guys, you can all do that. So I think that you should all have access to my email, but I'll quickly put it in the chat. Admit. So guys, if you have suggestions, you're welcome to reach out to me directly by sending it to joanne.barnard@sage.com. If you can give me examples, so that, like, even if you have to go into Excel and go, look, I want like these columns, these rows, and this is roughly what I'd like to look at. If you can do that, that would be amazing, because then I can take that forward and go, this is what our customers are looking for. This is what they would like to have in terms of functionality. And then the tech partner can know that's what you're looking for. And they can also let me know, yes, no, or Claude, as you asked, that's something we would have to do. Or yeah, we can definitely add that because that's something you guys can do. But I do like the save option because I noticed there isn't one there. And maybe you want to save a report, for example, that you've customized in that pivot table with the rows and the columns. And instead of having to do that every time, you can then just go, okay, run this that I've named, for example, sales comparison last year or whatever. So I do think that would be a nice addition, and I'll definitely ask them. But if you can either explain or give me examples, guys, that would be amazing. And I can definitely take that forward. I think that's a great idea. Guys, does anyone have any other questions? As I said, guys, if you sign up, you do get 30 days free. So for those of you that want to sign up, go in there and actually, I'll quickly give you the register. So I'm going to give you the register link, and you can always play around and see if it can do roughly what you're looking for as well. You don't need to then pay. You can have your 30 days to check, to register. So guys, if you click on the new registration, it's just linked it, but the actual link is there for you. You do have 30 days, so that's also really nice. You can go in and play, see if it does meet what you need, see if it can actually generate reports in the way that you want before you commit to actually paying a monthly fee. And as I said, please reach out to the tech partner and let them know we've got this many users, this many companies. Can you give me a quote, and see what they're prepared to do for you. I can't make that call, unfortunately. I can just tell you that I do think it's worthwhile because of the versatility of the program. And working with this tech partner, they're very open to feedback and to suggestions and to making this what our customers need, because that's their whole thing. Like, they've come to me and to a couple other people in Sage to go, what are your customers looking for? Because we want to make sure this is something that they want to use and that it's worth the money that they're paying. So guys, by all means, send that to me. I'm very happy to get those suggestions. So guys, any other questions that anyone has with regards to analysis codes, their functionality, or with regards to the data insights? As I said, there's a lot more to the reporting than just the analysis side of their reporting. And the AI part, when I can show you guys, I think that's really cool, because that literally gives you suggestions that maybe you can use that you haven't thought of to increase certain things. So I think that that's kind of a cool report that you might find interesting. If anyone has any questions, use the little raise hand icon. Otherwise, guys, if there are no questions, then that is this webinar. I do hope that you found it useful. I am going to be running another webinar in December. We're going to go over new features that have been added. So there are a couple of things in these maintenance runs that have been added, or features that maybe you just aren't too aware of, that I would like to take you through to show you how they work. There is also where you can go to always check for updates that we've made available for you. And I'm going to run you through all of those options. It probably is going to be a little bit of a shorter webinar than this one, but I do hope that you will sign up for it. Guys, please look out for all of the mailers that we send out. Again, we're going to send out those mailers telling you what it's about, telling you where to sign up. And I do hope that you guys found Teams a lot more functional and a lot more user-friendly. We got your feedback that you didn't really like the go-to webinar. And so I hope that you found this more interactive and more helpful. But guys, I'm not seeing any hands. If there are any, please just click on it again for me. Otherwise, yeah, I hope that you learned something. I hope you found this useful. And guys, we will make the recording available to you. And just thank you for everyone who attended and everyone who asked questions. I really appreciate it. Thank you so, so much.